Hi Sagittarius, how's it going? I hope you're doing wonderful today. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm just doing a general reading. I've asked Spirit 10 questions and these are the cards that came out. These are the answers. So I'm just going to give you the questions that I asked so you can see if it's something that interests you. If not, then you don't have to listen to the whole video. So the 10 questions are, what is the most important message Spirit wants you to hear right now? What chapter is currently closing in your life and what new chapter is beginning for you? What are you guided toward on your life path and soul purpose during this season? What can you look forward to over the next few weeks or months that will bring growth, joy, or positive change? What are you currently healing from and what will help you fully release the past? What guidance does Spirit have regarding your love life and closest relationships? What energy is unfolding in love? What opportunities or lessons are coming up for you in your career, finances, or abundance? And how can you best align with them? What hidden influences, blessings, or truths do you need to be aware of so that you, what hidden influences, blessing, or truths do you need to become aware of that you may not be seeing yet? And if any ancestors, spirit guides, or loved ones in spirit wish, if they have a message for you, if they wish to come forward with a message, what do they want you to know? So that's basically if your spirit guides, guardian angels, or anyone that has passed on, if they have a message for you. And then the last question I asked is, what advice, encouragement, or affirmation will help you move forward with greater confidence, trust, and alignment? Okay, so this is I'm going in this direction here, okay, starting on the upper left. The first card that came out is the Seven of Wands. So I asked Spirit, what is the most important message Spirit wants you to hear right now? And it came out reversed. So when a card comes out reversed, it just means you're getting extra protection from Spirit. So what is the most important message Spirit wants you, Sagittarius, to hear right now? This card is all about release, self-trust, and choosing peace over constant struggle. So Spirit is saying that you don't have to keep proving yourself, Sagittarius. You've been carrying the weight of defending your choices or your beliefs or your worth or your dreams. And this card suggests you've been fighting battles that were never meant to be yours. And it's left you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or ready to give up. So Spirit wants you to know that not every challenge requires your energy, okay? Sometimes the strongest move is to step back, let go of the need to explain yourself, and allow people to have their own opinions. Your path doesn't need anyone else's approval. Loving that message for you. My youngest son is Sagittarius, and I love that message for him. Your path doesn't need anyone else's approval. And for some of you, this card is confirming that you've been operating from survival mode for too long. You've been trying to hold everything together, but Spirit is asking you to surrender. Surrender what you can no longer control. When you stop resisting what's naturally falling away, you create space for something much more aligned to enter your life. And this is also a reminder to rebuild your confidence. If you've been questioning yourself or comparing yourself to others or feeling like you've lost your fire, then Spirit is encouraging you to reconnect with your inner strength. Your power hasn't disappeared. It has simply been buried beneath the stress or fear or outside pressure. What Spirit is saying with this card is stop fighting for people or places or situations that are draining your spirit. Fight for your peace instead. The battles worth winning are the ones that protect your energy and your happiness and your future. Oh, hang on one second. I just have to get my something. Okay, so the themes with this card is releasing unnecessary struggles. Spirit wants you to release any unnecessary struggles. Stop seeking validation from others. Protect your energy instead of defending yourself. Trust yourself and your path. Let go of what is no longer aligned with you and choose peace over proving a point. Okay? A good affirmation with this card would be, I release the need to prove my worth. I trust that what is meant for me will never require me to constantly fight for it. Okay? This is a particularly fitting message for you, Sagittarius, because you're naturally passionate and you're willing to stand up for what you believe in. Spirit might be reminding you that your next level doesn't come through fighting harder. It comes through discerning which battles are truly yours to engage in. And your next message is, what chapter is Sagittarius currently closing and what new chapter is beginning for them? And you got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So this card, this is a beautiful card for this question because it speaks directly to cycles ending and new ones beginning. So what Spirit is saying with this card is you're standing at a major turning point. Spirit is showing that an important cycle in your life is coming to a close. And whether you've fully realized it or not, the wheel is already beginning to turn in your favor. The chapter you're closing is one of delays or repeating lessons and feeling like you've had to work harder than everyone else just to make progress. Many of you have been learning karmic lessons about timing, trust, relationships, self-worth, or letting go of control. Spirit is saying you've gained the wisdom from those experiences and now you're ready to move forward. The new chapter that's beginning is one of movement, opportunity, and divine timing. Things that once felt stuck may suddenly begin to shift. Doors can open unexpectedly. You may receive opportunities or invitations, chance encounters, or breakthroughs that seem to happen out of nowhere. But Spirit wants you to know these are not random. They are the result of the inner work you've already done. And this card is also a reminder that life moves in seasons. So if you've been in a difficult season, know that it isn't permanent. The Wheel of Fortune is one of the strongest indicators that your circumstances are changing. And Spirit is encouraging you to stay open instead of trying to predict exactly how those changes will unfold. For some of you, this could mark the beginning of a new career path, a healthier relationship, financial improvement, a move, travel, or maybe you're stepping into a version of yourself that's more authentic and aligned with your purpose. Whatever form it takes, the next chapter asks you to trust the process rather than resist it. Don't cling to what's ending out of, what's familiar, because the wheel cannot turn if you're holding on to the past. Your willingness to embrace change is what allows these blessings, to fully enter your life. So again, the Wheel of Fortune card is saying that there's a karmic cycle that's completing. Divine timing is at work. There may be unexpected opportunities and positive changes entering your life. There may be forward movement after a period of stagnation. This is a card of luck, blessings, and your alignment increasing. And it's telling you to trust the natural flow of life, your life. Sagittarius, the wheel is turning. What once felt impossible may soon become possible. Stay open, stay adaptable, and remember that sometimes the biggest blessings arrive through the changes you never planned for. And this flows especially well after the Seven of Wands reversed. Together, these cards are saying, first, Spirit asks you to stop exhausting yourself by fighting every battle, and then reveals why. Because a new cycle is beginning, and your energy is better spent embracing the opportunities that are arriving than resisting the ending of the old chapter. The third question I ask Spirit is, what is Sagittarius being guided toward on their life path and soul purpose during the season? And you got the High Priestess, Major Arcana card. This is a deeply spiritual card, especially for a question about life path and soul purpose. And it suggests that you're being guided less toward external achievement right now and more toward inner wisdom and intuition and alignment. So this is telling me that Spirit is guiding you back to yourself. Your soul purpose during this season isn't about forcing the next step. It's about learning to trust the wisdom that already lives within you. The answers you've been searching for may not come from other people. They're coming from your own intuition. The High Priestess says this is a season of spiritual awakening and heightened intuition. Many of you may notice stronger dreams, synchronicities, gut feelings, or signs from the universe. Spirit is asking you to slow down enough to recognize them. What once felt like coincidence may actually be divine guidance. On your life path, you're being called to become more discerning. Not everything deserves your attention, and not everyone deserves access to your energy. Your soul is learning the difference between reacting to the outside world and responding from a place of inner knowing. For some of you, this card could point toward developing spiritual gifts or deepening a spiritual practice. Whether that's meditation, prayer, energy work, tarot, journaling, healing, teaching, or just spending more time in quiet reflection. Spirit is encouraging you to strengthen your connection with the unseen. The more you trust that connection, the more clearly your path will unfold. And this is also a reminder that you don't need to have all the answers today. There may be things happening behind the scenes that you can't see yet. Spirit is weaving pieces together in divine timing. And your role right now is not to force clarity, but to trust the unfolding. If you've been asking for a sign about whether you're on the right path, well, the High Priestess is a gentle but powerful yes. Spirit is simply asking you to stop doubting the guidance you've already been receiving. So, trust your intuition above outside opinions. You're going through a spiritual growth and awakening. Hidden knowledge is being revealed in divine timing. Pay attention to your dreams, any signs and synchronicities. Make sure you're protecting your energy and honoring your inner wisdom. And know that your soul purpose is unfolding from the inside out. Sagittarius, your soul already knows the way. You don't have to chase every answer. The more you trust your intuition, the more your path will reveal itself. Spirit isn't asking you to know everything, only to take the next step that feels true to your heart. Stop fighting. We'll start at the beginning again here. Stop fighting and stop seeking validation. And then a major life cycle is ending and a new one is beginning. And as that new chapter unfolds, Spirit wants you to let your intuition, not fear or outside noise, be your guide. Okay? And then the fourth question I asked Spirit was, what can you look forward to over the next few weeks or months that will bring growth, joy, or positive change? And you got the 8 of Cups reversed. So this card speaks to unfinished emotional journeys, second chances, and finally finding the courage to to move toward what truly fulfills you, rather than signaling stagnation in the context of what you can look forward to. This card suggests meaningful emotional growth and resolution. So over the next few weeks or months, you're being given an opportunity to reclaim a part of yourself that you've left behind. Spirit is showing that something you've been emotionally tied to is coming back into your awareness, not to keep you stuck, but to help you finally understand it, heal it, or make a different choice. Some of you may find yourselves revisiting a relationship or a dream, a career path, or even a version of yourself that you thought was over. But this isn't necessarily about going backward. Spirit is giving you the chance to see things with new eyes and decide what truly aligns with your heart. For others, this card says you've been feeling the pull to walk away from something that no longer fulfills you, but fear or uncertainty or emotional attachment has made that difficult. The positive change coming is that you'll begin finding the strength and clarity to release what has been weighing you down. What once felt impossible to let go of won't have the same hold on you. This is also a season of emotional healing. You may experience conversations that bring closure, moments of forgiveness, or a deeper understanding of why certain experiences unfolded the way they did. Instead of carrying the past, you'll begin carrying its wisdom. I love that for you too. Spirit is reminding you that joy doesn't always arrive as something entirely new. Sometimes joy comes from finally making peace with the past and choosing yourself and no longer settling for what leaves you emotionally empty. The growth you're stepping into is learning that your happiness matters. You're no longer meant to stay in situations simply because they're familiar. You're being guided toward emotional fulfillment, authenticity, and a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. So this card is about emotional healing and closure, releasing fear of moving forward, revisiting the past for resolution, not repetition, choosing emotional fulfillment over comfort, rediscovering your authentic self, and finding peace through acceptance and self-love. What you can look forward to isn't just external change, it's an internal shift. Sagittarius, you're becoming someone who no longer abandons himself to keep others comfortable. As you honor your own emotional truth, the right people, opportunities, and experiences will naturally begin to meet you where you are. So we have release the struggle, a new cycle is beginning, Trust your intuition as you navigate it and heal what has kept you emotionally tethered so that you can fully step into the next chapter with an open heart. And then the fifth question I asked Spirit was, what is Sagittarius currently healing from? And what will help them fully release the past? And you got the Knight of Cups. So this card suggests that your healing matters of the heart. This isn't just about romantic love. It can also represent healing emotional wounds, learning to trust again, reconnecting with hope, and opening your heart after disappointment. Spirit is showing that you're healing from emotional disappointments that have changed the way you trust not only other people but yourself. Whether this was a romantic relationship, a friendship, a family situation, or even a dream that didn't unfold the way you hoped, those experiences may have caused you to guard your heart. And the Knight of Cups tells me that many of you have spent time questioning whether it's safe to be vulnerable again. Maybe you've become more cautious with your emotions, or you've been protecting yourself from getting hurt. Spirit wants you to know that your sensitive heart is not a weakness. It's one of your greatest strengths. What will help you fully release the past is allowing yourself to feel your emotions instead of judging them. Healing doesn't come from pretending you're over something before you truly are. It comes from honoring your feelings, offering yourself compassion, and trusting that your heart can love again without carrying the weight of old pain. Spirit is also encouraging you to receive love as much as you give it. You are often generous, supportive, and willing to show up for others, but this card asks you to be just as open to accepting kindness, support, and genuine affection when it's offered to you. For some of you, this card could indicate that an emotionally significant person enters your life, or that someone already in your life helps restore your faith in love, friendship, or human connection. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could simply be someone who reminds you that not everyone will repeat the patterns of your past. More importantly, Spirit is asking you to follow what genuinely moves your heart. The more your decisions are guided by authenticity instead of fear, the easier it becomes to release what no longer belongs in your story. So you're healing emotional wounds and disappointments. You're learning to trust your heart again. You're allowing yourself to be vulnerable in healthy ways. You're receiving love and support from others. You're following your heart with wisdom and emotional maturity. And then we have forgiveness, compassion, and emotional renewal. Your heart is not asking you to become harder. It's asking you to become wiser. The past taught you valuable lessons, but it doesn't have to define the way you love, trust, or dream moving forward. Spirit is leading you toward experiences that remind you your heart is still capable of joy. Release the struggle, embrace the new cycle, trust your inner guidance, resolve emotional attachments, and heal your heart. Become open to healthy emotional experiences again. So far, all the cards together tell the story of someone moving from survival and emotional heaviness into greater trust, healing, and alignment. The sixth question I asked Spirit was, what guidance does Spirit have regarding Sagittarius' love life and closest relationships? And what energy is unfolding in love? And you got the Queen of Cups reversed. So this card is a strong emotional signal in a love and relationships position, because it often points to emotional overwhelm or boundaries being tested, or emotional imbalance, or difficulty trusting one's feelings or someone else's intentions. So Spirit is highlighting emotional imbalance in your love life and closest relationships. The Queen of Cups reversed suggests that either you or someone you're connected to has been carrying a lot emotionally, but not expressing it in a healthy or grounded way. For some of you, this can point to emotional sensitivity being turned inward. You may be absorbing other people's moods, overgiving, or feeling emotionally drained because your boundaries haven't been fully protected. Spirit is gently showing that love should not leave you feeling depleted or confused about your emotions. For others, this card reflects someone in your environment who is emotionally inconsistent. Someone who may be caring but not fully stable in how they express that care. There could be mixed signals, emotional withdrawal, or difficulty communicating feelings in a clear and mature way. So Spirit's guidance here is about emotional clarity and protection. You're being asked to come back into balance with your own heart. Before investing deeply in others, check in with yourself. Maybe ask yourself, are you emotionally safe here? Are you being valued and understood? Or are you losing yourself in the process? This is also a reminder not to ignore your emotional intuition. The High Priestess earlier in your reading is still active here. Your intuition is picking up on emotional truths, even if they haven't been spoken out loud yet. Don't override what you feel just to keep peace or connection. The energy unfolding in love right now is asking for emotional maturity. That means honesty, boundaries, and the willingness to step back from anything that feels emotionally chaotic or one-sided. Healthy love does not require you to constantly second guess yourself. At the same time, this card is not saying love is absent. It's saying love needs rebalancing. Once emotional clarity is restored, connections can either heal and deepen, or you may realize certain dynamics are not aligned with your well-being anymore. So, this card is about emotional overwhelm or sensitivity, boundaries being weakened or ignored, emotional inconsistency in relationships, difficulty trusting your intuition or feelings, a need for emotional grounding and self-care, and learning emotional independence within relationships. So Spirit is asking you to protect your emotional peace as much as your heart. Love should not confuse you or drain you. As you return to emotional balance, you'll see your relationships more clearly, and you will know exactly what is worth keeping and what is not. As you move into a new cycle and become more intuitive and self-aware, you're also being asked to refine emotional boundaries so your next connections can be healthier and more reciprocal. The seventh question I ask Spirit is, what opportunities or lessons are coming up for you, Sagittarius, in your career, finances, or abundance, and how can you best align with them? And you got the 8 of Wands reversed. So this card points to delays, slow momentum, miscommunication, or energy that feels like it's not moving as quickly as expected. But it's not a no card, it's a not yet, an adjust your approach card. Spirit is showing that in your career, finances, and abundance, things may feel slower or more blocked than you expected, but this delay has purpose. The 8 of Wands reversed suggests that momentum is temporarily being paused so you can realign your direction before things accelerate again. Some of you may be experiencing frustration around timing, like waiting on responses, job opportunities, money flow, or progress that feels stuck. Spirit is saying the issue is not that nothing is happening, but that things are still organizing behind the scenes in a way you cannot see yet. There may also be lessons around communication and clarity. Misunderstandings, unclear plans, or scattered energy could be slowing progress. Spirit is encouraging you to slow down your approach and make sure everything you are investing your time or energy into is clearly aligned and well thought out. The guidance here is not to force momentum. Pushing harder right now may actually create more resistance. Instead, focus on refinement. Update your plans, tighten your strategy, and get very clear about what you actually want to move toward. For some of you, this card could also suggest burnout or energetic overload. You may be trying to move in too many directions at once, and Spirit is asking you to simplify. When your energy is scattered, progress feels blocked. But when you focus, things begin to flow again. The opportunity in this moment is preparation. What feels like a delay is actually a setup phase. Once the timing shifts, things could move quickly again, but you'll be ready for it in a stronger, more aligned way. So again, this card is about temporary delays or slowed progress, miscommunication or lack of clarity, overwhelm or scattered energy, a need for patience and recalibration, reassessing direction before movement resumes, and that behind the scenes alignment is happening. Spirit is not blocking your progress, it is refining your path. When the timing shifts, things will move quickly again. Use this pause to get clear, focused, and intentional so that when momentum returns, you're moving in the exact direction you truly want. This fits well in your overall narrative. After emotional healing and intuition building earlier in the reading, Spirit is now emphasizing that external progress is temporarily slowed so that you can align internally before expansion resumes. And then the Lover's card is your next card. This is your 8th card. I asked Spirit what hidden influences, blessings or truths do you need to become aware of that you may not see, that you may not be seeing yet? Okay? So what hidden influences or blessings or truths do you need to become aware of that you may not be seeing yet? And you got the Lover's card. So this card is about alignment, choices, values, and divine connections. It suggests something significant is unfolding around relationships and or an important life decision that will shape your next chapter. So Spirit is revealing that there is a powerful influence around you right now involving choice, alignment, and meaningful connection. The Lovers suggests that something in your life is asking to be chosen consciously, not just with emotion, but with clarity about your values and your truth. For some of you, this is connected to love. There may be a significant connection, either present or approaching, that carries real soul level importance. But Spirit is also asking you not to romanticize or rush. The hidden truth here is that this connection will reflect your alignment within yourself, how you love, how you choose, and how you value your own needs. And for others, this is not just about a person, but about a crossroads. You may be facing two paths in life, two directions in career or lifestyle or personal growth. And the decision you make will deeply affect your emotional fulfillment. Spirit is highlighting that avoidance or indecision is no longer neutral. It's also a choice. The hidden blessing in this card is alignment. the more honest you are with yourself about what you truly want, not just what feels comfortable or familiar, but what feels right in your heart, the more external reality begins to reflect that truth. This card also connects beautifully with your earlier cards. After the High Priestess, Inner Knowing, and the Lover, this card asks you to act on what you already intuitively know is right for you. It's where intuition meets action. Spirit may also be showing that relationships in your life right now are acting as mirrors. They're revealing your standards, your boundaries, and what you are ready or no longer ready to accept. The key hidden truth here is that your next level comes through aligned choice, not passive waiting. When you choose what is truly in harmony with your values, everything else begins to reorganize around that decision. So the Lover's card is about soul-aligned choices and crossroads, meaningful relationships or connections, values, integrity, and self-honesty, emotional and spiritual alignment, decisions that shape the future path, and relationships as mirrors for self-awareness. What Spirit is saying is, Spirit is showing you that alignment is your doorway forward. Whether in love or life direction, the more honest you are about what truly resonates with your heart, the clearer your path becomes. You're also being asked not to just, you're being asked not just to feel, but to choose. This is a major pivot card in your reading. It ties together your earlier messages, intuition, emotional healing, and now a conscious decision point that determines what you step into next. And then your ninth card, you have the Ten of Swords, and I ask Spirit, if any of your ancestors, spirit guides, or loved ones who have passed on wish to come forward with a message, what they want you to know, and you got the Ten of Swords. So this is intense, but it's also deeply clear and ultimately freeing. It's not about punishment or doom. It's about an ending that has already reached its limit, and the reassurance that it is finally over or being released. So what this card is saying, what it's saying is, if any ancestors, spirit guides, or loved ones in spirit are stepping forward, the message is one of finality and release. This card shows that something in your energy field has reached its absolute ending point. A painful cycle, a mental burden, or a long-standing emotional weight is being acknowledged, and it is being cleared. You do not need to carry this anymore. For some of you, this relates to generational patterns, cycles of betrayal, abandonment, struggle, over-sacrifice, or emotional suffering that have repeated in your family line or personal history. The message is that you are not, the message is that you are the one breaking the cycle. Even if it felt overwhelming or unfair, it does not continue through you unless you choose to keep carrying it. For others, this is about mental exhaustion and overthinking. Your guides are showing that the worst part of something is already behind you, even if your mind still replays it. The pain has already peaked. The healing phase is what comes next. There is also a strong spiritual message here. Endings are not failures. The Ten of Swords is the moment where something finally stops hurting because it has fully run its course. So Spirit is asking you to stop reopening what is already complete. The love in this message is in the relief. You survived it, you learned from it, and you are no longer in it the same way you once were. What felt like collapse is actually clearance, space being made for something new to enter your life. Your guides are encouraging you to stop identifying with the ending and start recognizing the beginning that follows it. Even if you cannot see it yet, this is the turning point where the weight starts to lift. So this card is about final endings and closure, releasing mental or emotional suffering, breaking generational cycles, knowing that the worst is already over. It's a turning point toward recovery, and you no longer need to carry old pain, okay? You're not being defined by what ended, you're being freed from it. What is complete does not need to be relived. Your spirit team is asking you to lay it down and allow yourself to move forward without it. After love healing and emotional imbalance, this card shows a final release of deep mental or emotional burden, so you can fully step into the next chapter without carrying old pain. And then your last card is the Three of Swords. The question I asked Spirit was, what advice, encouragement, or affirmation will help you, Sagittarius, move forward with greater confidence, trust, and alignment? Okay, so this card is about acknowledging pain so it doesn't keep controlling the present. It's less about heartbreak happening and more about integrating grief, truth, and emotional honesty as part of your forward movement. Spirit's final message is one of truth and emotional honesty. The Three of Swords asks you not to bypass what hurt you. Healing doesn't come from pretending you're unaffected. It comes from acknowledging what was real, what it cost you, and what you're no longer willing to repeat. For some of you, there's lingering grief around love or betrayal or disappointment or emotional loss. Spirit is saying this pain deserves compassion, not suppression. When you allow yourself to fully recognize what hurt you, you begin to release its hold over your decisions and your energy. And this card is also about clarity. Sometimes what hurts is not just the ending itself, but the truth it revealed. You may have learned who and what was not aligned with you. Spirit is encouraging you to let that clarity become your strength rather than your wound. The encouragement here is not to harden your heart, but to strengthen your boundaries while keeping your heart open. Sagittarius, you are naturally optimistic and forward moving, but this card reminds you that true confidence comes from knowing that you will and will, from knowing what you will and what and will not accept again. Okay? True confidence comes from knowing what you will and will not accept again. Spirit is also guiding you to stop revisiting the pain in a way that keeps it active. There's a difference between healing and reopening. Healing says, I see it, I accept it, I grow from it, and I move forward. What Spirit is saying here is reclaim your emotional power without denying your story. So we have emotional truth and honesty, grief, release, and acknowledgement of pain, learning from heartbreak or disappointment, strengthening your boundaries, turning your pain into clarity and wisdom, and moving forward without denial. A good affirmation with this card is, what you should say, Sagittarius, is, I honor what I've been through without letting it define what comes next. My heart is wiser now, and I choose relationships, paths, and experiences that reflect my worth and truth. So again, stop fighting unnecessary battles. A major cycle is shifting. Trust your inner voice. There's emotional return or release and reevaluation. You're healing your heart and learning to love again. There's emotional boundaries and sensitivity and balance. There's temporary delays and redirection. There's a major aligned choice or relationship crossroads. Then final endings and cycle closure. And integrating truth, grief, and emotional wisdom. So the overall story isn't just pain, it's emotional refinement leading to alignment. You move forward strongest when you stop denying what hurt you and instead use it as clarity for better choices, stronger boundaries, and deeper self-trust. So you're ending painful cycles, you're healing your heart, you're trusting your intuition, and you're choosing aligned love and a life direction, releasing old pain. You're facing a key love or life choice and starting a new cycle here. Boundaries, yeah. Okay, so that is your reading, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for allowing me to channel these messages. I'm sending you lots of love and strength. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Let me know how it goes. Take good care. Bye.